Hi, I'm Michele Hemphill. I am with Villa Springfield Health and Rehabilitation Center, and today we are talking with Kerry Pedraza, who is the Executive Director of United Way, Clark, Champaign, and Madison County.
That's correct.
We're 6 feet apart, so we were able to take our masks off according to CDC and Ohio Department of Health guidelines. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that. Plus, added bonus, we're outside, which is beautiful out, and outside's the place to be with all this COVID going around.
Absolutely.
So Kerry, welcome.
Thank you. This is great that you're doing this.
Yes, well, thank you so much. Well, Villa and myself, we just wanted to touch base with community leaders, see how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic, see what we can do for you, and what kind of message you want to get out to the community and let them know you're still here, what's going on, and you are such a huge community resource. So I want to make sure everybody knows what you have to offer and how to get a hold of you and all that good stuff.
Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure. So just tell me a little bit about United Way for anybody who doesn't know.
Sure. So United Way of Clark, Champaign, and Madison counties actually has been around for over 100 years.
Wow.
We are proud of that heritage. We started out as a war bond relief effort, and then we moved on to a community chest, and in our latest kind of transformation, all with the same mission, always been the same mission. We are now the United Way of Clark, Champaign, and Madison counties. I think a real misnomer for a lot of people is that we take all of our direction from that big United Way kind of
umbrella.
And actually, we have an independent board, 501c3, that makes all of the local decisions. So we're just
nice.
Really just a member, just like someone would be a member of an association, and we get to use their branding. But that's really important because what we pride ourselves on is the fact that money that we raise here locally stays local, every penny, unless somebody designates it to go somewhere else.
Okay.
So it's a lot of people think of us strictly as fundraisers, but I'd push back on people a little bit and say we are much more than fundraisers. And I think that's never been more evident than during this current crisis that we're in.
Right.
Because we have a service called 211, and it's an information and referral service that anyone can pick up the telephone and truly just dial 211, and you will get another person on the end of the phone. You don't have to push buttons, you don't have to do anything. You just
Somebody answers.
Somebody answers. And the person on the other end of the phone is going to ask you specifically what your zip code is so that they can connect you with whatever resource that you want as close to your home as possible. So it's specific to Clark, Champaign, and Madison counties, and we've had a big influx of calls because of the coronavirus.
Well, there's so many people out of work.
Oh,
no
my goodness.
income. Yeah.
And, people are asking about how they get additional food. They're asking where they can find assistance with rent or with utilities.
Sure.
So there's just been a big uptick in calls from 211. So that's a really important resource that we offer to the community.
It's a huge resource. And the fact that everything's local, it makes a big difference because they feel like they're talking to somebody local. You know what I mean? That knows the area, knows what they need. And I would venture to say a lot of these people have never had to ask for help before.
That's exactly right. When you talk to some of our other nonprofits that we work directly with, over half, if not more than half, that are coming in for services have never asked for service or help before. And they've always been the ones that have given help.
Sure. And that's so hard. It's hard to ask for help no matter who you are.
Absolutely.
But when you're used to having a paycheck and going to work and are able-bodied, it's got to be very, very tough to even make the phone call, I would think.
But you know what? I always tell people if I happen to pick up a call or someone comes to our office asking for assistance and they're they're either embarrassed or sad or whatever, the first thing that I say to them is, you know what, you wouldn't think twice if someone came and asked for help.
That's
from
right.
You
That's
would give
right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And to those that much have been given, much is asked of us.
Sure.
So we obviously want to help just as people before us and currently are helping others.
Right. So I'm going to throw this out there. When we're in a company, or if you work for a company, and they ask you if you want to donate to United Way, I can designate, okay, I wanted to come or I wanted to stay in Clark County, right?
Sure, absolutely. You can even go so far as to designate, we just changed this a couple years ago, but you can designate to any 501c3 that you want to. It used to be that United Way had certain nonprofits that we supported.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, we still do that through a grant process. But if you are someone who wants to give to a certain nonprofit because it's something that is important to you, there is no easier way for someone to give than through payroll deduction.
Right.
I've been a United Way giver since I've been 18 years old, and that's the way I'm able to do the philanthropy that I can.
Right.
Because if I have to write a check, I either forget to do it or, another bill comes in.
Well, if it's out of your paycheck, you don't see it.
You don't.
So you get used to that, and that is the best way to do it, I think.
I think so too. So we're really lucky. We have many companies that have supported us for years in allowing us to make that ask of their employees.
Sure.
We are a little concerned, just like everyone else, with the economic situation that maybe some of those people who have given in the past aren't able. And, we want to make sure that we're able to fund so many of the things that we've funded in the past. I know another big question that people have when we talk about United Way is, oh my gosh, so if I give you $1, you're going to take 50 cents,
right, and
the other agency will get 50 cents. But that's not how it is at all. Our administrative overhead is just 13.9 cents. And what I always say to people is what that buys you or what that return on your investment is that we're able to collect those dollars from the employers. We're able then to cut those checks, send them out to the nonprofits. But more importantly, we manage those investment dollars that people have given us to ensure that the dollars that the donors have given us really are going to the nonprofits that are doing a great job, who are showing outcomes, who are using your dollars with good judgment. So there's someone who once said to me that they consider their United Way like a financial advisor, except for their philanthropy.
Right.
And so I like to think that those people who have chosen to give to United Way do so because they trust that we're doing good things with their dollars.
That's right. And you have confidence in giving because, let's face it, everybody wants to do more, but they do what they can.
Right.
Sometimes money's tight, whether we have a pandemic or not.
Absolutely.
For people, but you still want to give back a little bit, so you want to be sure that your money's taken care of.
Yes.
So that's a great way to put it, I think.
Yes.
And I feel like your grant program, you really qualify your 501c companies or nonprofits that you donate to.
Yes.
So you can be confident knowing that if they say we want to use it for XYZ program, that's what they're going to use it for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to make sure that in our community, philanthropy dollars are difficult to come by anyhow.
Right.
So we want to ensure that we don't have a whole lot of duplication of services going on. If there is a nonprofit that is doing something, I get many calls from people who have such a kind heart and they have a passion for something and they'll say, I want to start a nonprofit.
Oh.
And the first thing that I will say to them is that's awesome that you want to do this, but let's talk about where you might be able to move your passion so that you're not creating overhead, you're not creating all of this. Let's support those nonprofits that are doing a great job now, and then just enhance what they're doing. So,
yeah, that's a great idea.
yeah.
So let's switch gears just for a minute and talk about Dolly Parton.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Love Dolly.
Yes. Explain to everyone what the program is
Sure.
and how you fund that. And
Sure. So many years ago, everybody knows Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Who doesn't know Dolly? So many years ago, Dolly Parton wanted to give something back to the hometown that she grew up in Tennessee. And so her father was illiterate. He could never read anything. But he taught Dolly that the most important thing in life was education and being able to read. So she began a program where every child could, from the age of birth to 5 years old, could receive a free age-appropriate book in their home every month. And there was nothing that qualified them other than they signed up for the program.
and had an address
And
to
had
send
an
it to.
address.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a financial thing. It wasn't a delineator between the haves and the have-nots. Every single person in town who wanted a book got one. So throughout the years, it has grown. And 5 years ago, we actually brought the program to Clark, Champaign, and Madison
was 5
counties.
years ago?
It's hard to believe. We're getting
Wow.
It
Yes.
was actually 5 years. And over those years, we have given out over 100,000 books to
Oh,
children.
wow.
Yes. And all you need to do if you have a child or a grandchild between those ages, you just need to go onto our website, which is www.uwccmc.org, and go to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library and register online. And the books will start coming about 6 weeks from when you register. And the first book that children get is The Little Ninja That Could, and we all know that book. And then the last book that they get, they always get the book Here I Come Kindergarten. So between those years and between those books, there's a panel that determines the most appropriate books to give for each age. And these are great books.
They're wonderful.
The corduroy books. They're
Yeah.
the spot books. I mean, they're all those books that the Llama Llama book series
Right.
is part of it. So it's just been something that we firmly believe in at United Way because we know that education is so important. It is also evidence-based, so we know that kids who are enrolled in the Dolly Parton Imagination Library actually score 22% higher on their third grade reading tests.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Well, reading is everything.
it is.
And I remember when we signed my grandson up, he just thinks it's the greatest thing to get a piece of mail every month.
Absolutely.
With his name on it, comes to him,
Absolutely.
and wants to read it right away.
So it becomes something that it's not just about the reading, it becomes a self-esteem issue.
Absolutely, and it becomes a sense of
Bonding
pride.
issue. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's their books. They take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's wonderful. So if somebody wanted to give to United Way, I'm sure there's a million different ways, right?
are.
Yes.
There are.
So let's go over that a little bit. Are you still? I know you used to run a campaign every year. Now
Yes.
this year probably looks a little different because of everything going on.
Yes, I think everybody in the world of philanthropy right now is wondering what the future holds. But we will still run a campaign in the fall.
Okay.
But I also want to mention that currently, as we talk about the COVID-19 and the pandemic, it became very obvious to us and to our board of directors that we needed to do something specific to the needs surrounding the COVID-19. So we established the Clark, Champaign, Madison COVID-19 Community Fund. And people have been so generous to for this fund, but we have raised over $125,000
Wow.
since March.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
And what the board has earmarked these dollars for are for food insufficiency, as well as we know that right now utilities and evictions are not happening.
Yeah.
But we know that in mid-July, that is going to be just a terrible, terrible thing for our communities. And why that is so terrible, you know, I think sometimes people who either have never been in that position or faced with that, you're really talking about the possibility of someone becoming homeless.
That's right.
And homelessness is a recent statistic that I just read was that they are predicting that there's a possibility of 47% increase in homelessness as a result of the pandemic. So all of our shelters that are run by Interfaith Hospitality Network, St. Vincent de Paul, Salvation Army, they are doing tremendous things with trying to keep people in their homes as much as possible. So the dollars that we're collecting through the COVID-19 fund will go directly for food insufficiency and then rent and utility assistance, because we need people to stay in their homes.
Well, and how wonderful for you to look forward and to have that ready and to be ready for it. And there is so much. I know I personally have anxiety about COVID-19. You know, my whole family is in the healthcare business, and you not only worry about your kids that work with it, but you bring it home to your family once you're out there.
Right.
I can't imagine worrying about whether or not I'm going to have a place to stay or feeding my children or whatever that may be.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, it's a scary, scary time for everyone.
It is. And what is amazing, every time I think about it, is just the generosity of our communities.
Clark County always has been a generous community.
Oh my goodness.
I think we have a lot of people, even, you know, if it's $5 or $500, everybody rallies around when there's a time of need.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if someone's interested in giving to the COVID-19 fund, again, I'll just reiterate that everything stays local. So if you are living in Clark County and you wanted to stay in Clark County, that's where it stays. So you can go online. We can take credit cards online, and you can do that on our website again. Or you can drop a check in the mail to us, and you can just call us, and I'll give you the information as to where to send it.
Do you have a local phone number you can give?
Sure. It's 937-324-5551.
And your website again, tell them that.
It's www.uwccmc.org. So we're United Way, Clark, Champaign, Madison. Oh my gosh.
Counties. C for county.
.org. So if you just remember our name. So
they could call directly, and then if they need help or need assistance, they can call 211.
Yes.
That's great. Kerry, I appreciate you being here. I'm just going to put a plug in quick for Villa Springfield. On the same vein as that, we have not been allowed to have visitors in our building. We don't let anybody in the building just because we have a vulnerable population that we're taking care of. So if anyone would like to reach out and send a card or send a note to one of our residents, or just a general note that we can share with all of them, our address is 701 Villa Road, and it's 45503 in Springfield. And they would love to hear anything from anybody. You know, we worry about them. We do the best we can because they're our family, but it's not the same as having your family and getting a hug from them. Or,
not at all.
you know, we have window visits and we do iPad, FaceTime, but as you know, and I'm a hugger. It's been tough.
It's been very tough
It's
for me as a hugger.
Yes, it's tough for huggers, and it's tough for social people, and being in a rehab center or a nursing facility, it's a tough situation. And I want to thank you, Kerry. Thanks for everything you do.
Oh, my pleasure. And I want to thank actually the workers at Villa.
Yeah, they've been tremendous.
They have been tremendous.
Yeah.
Anyone in healthcare, especially in the extended care facilities,
Right.
they have loved our, our seniors
Yes.
tremendously.
Yeah.
And so thank you to them, and thank you. Villa of Springfield is an incredible partner within our community. They rise
Thanks.
to the occasion. Whenever they're asked, they are right there at everything, sponsoring, not just with their money, but of their time. And sometimes time is more valuable than money.
It is, and sometimes that's what we have the
Yes.
most of is time.
Absolutely.
We love being part of the community and helping everybody out.
Awesome.
But you make it easy being a good partner.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Well-
Everybody stay safe.
Yes, everybody stay safe, stay 6 feet apart, wear your mask when you're out. That's the best thing you can do for anybody. And until next time, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.